It's election day in two important western states on Tuesday, Arizona and Utah. Particularly interesting states on the Republican side of the ledger because the results there will help answer the question that hangs over the entire Republican race, which is whether Donald Trump can amass a majority of convention delegates before Republicans gather for their convention in Cleveland in July, or whether he's going to fall short of that goal. Interesting quirks in each of these states, Arizona and Utah, that will help answer the question on Tuesday night. First of all, let's look in Arizona. The interesting thing there is that while Donald Trump has a lead in the polls, it's not an insurmountable lead, but, and this is the important but, Arizona is an early voting state and many thousands, perhaps hundreds of thousands of votes have already been cast early. That means that Donald Trump, who tends to do well in early voting and not so well on day of the election voting, may have amassed a big lead in Arizona. That's particularly true because a lot of those ballots were cast before Marco Rubio dropped out of the race. So thousands of Arizona ballots that might have gone against Donald Trump and for Ted Cruz have already been cast for Marco Rubio. The anti-Trump vote has been splintered in Arizona because of the early vote. That may be a decisive factor in the end. In Utah, meanwhile, there's a number to keep in mind as you analyze the results. That number is 50%. Ted Cruz is probably going to win the caucuses in Utah because he's got a lead there. It's a culturally conservative state that tends to like candidates like Ted Cruz more than a candidate like Donald Trump. But the key for Ted Cruz is to get over 50% of the vote in the Utah caucuses, and if he does that, he wins all of the state's delegates. He doesn't have to split them with Donald Trump. Arizona, by contrast, is a winner-take-all state. So they're both interesting states, quite different, and the voting in each is quite unique.